Once upon a time, in the middle of a vibrant forest, there lived a cheerful little squirrel with a fluffy tail and bright eyes. Everyone in the forest called her Nutty. Nutty loved gathering acorns, walnuts, and all kinds of tasty treats, storing them in her cozy tree hollow. She spent her days scurrying from tree to tree, always making sure her pantry was overflowing with food. Nutty was proud of her collection, but there was one little problem. She never shared it with anyone. I worked so hard to gather all of this, she thought. What if I don't have enough for myself later? One crisp autumn morning, Nutty woke up to a soft tapping sound. When she peeked outside, she saw her neighbor, a tiny bluebird named Pippa, shivering on a branch. Pippa's feathers fluffed up in the cold breeze as she chirped, "Nutty, I lost my food stash in the storm last night. Could you spare a few acorns?" Nutty hesitated. She looked at her tree hollow bursting with nuts and thought about how much she had worked to gather them. "I'm sorry, Pippa," Nutty said, "but I don't think I can share. I might need them all." Disappointed, Pippa flew away, and Nutty went back to her cozy tree, convincing herself that she had made the right choice. But deep down, a tiny voice in her heart whispered, "Was that really the kind thing to do?" The next day, a family of rabbits knocked on Nutty's tree. They explained that their burrow had flooded and they had nothing to eat. "Nutty, do you think you could share a little food with us until we get back on our feet?" the oldest rabbit asked kindly. Once again, Nutty frowned and shook her head. "I'm really sorry, but I can't share right now," she said. The rabbits thanked her anyway and hopped away, leaving Nutty feeling uneasy. Days passed, and winter began to blanket the forest in snow. One morning, Nutty woke up to find her friend Benny the beaver building a small snow dam near the frozen pond. Benny waved and said, "Nutty, some of the animals are struggling to find food. We're all pitching in to help. Would you like to join us?" Nutty felt a pang of guilt, but didn't know how to respond. That night, she sat in her tree hollow, staring at her mountain of nuts. As she thought about the bluebird, the rabbits, and Benny's offer, she began to wonder, what good is all this food if I can't help my friends when they need it? Finally, Nutty made a decision. Early the next morning, she bundled up a basket with acorns, walnuts, and chestnuts and scurried down the tree. She visited Pippa first, leaving a little pile of nuts by her nest. Then she headed to the rabbit's burrow, where she carefully placed food by their entrance. Finally, she joined Benny and the others at the frozen pond, contributing a big portion of her stash to the community pile. The animals were overjoyed and grateful. Pippa chirped, "Thank you, Nutty." "I can't tell you how much this means to me." The rabbits nibbled on the nuts happily, and Benny smiled. "See, Nutty? When we share, we all get through the tough times together." As the days grew colder, Nutty realized something wonderful. Even though her own stash was smaller now, she felt warmer and happier than ever before. Whenever she saw her friends enjoying the food she had shared, her heart filled with joy. From that winter on, Nutty became known as the Sharing Squirrel. She learned that generosity didn't just help others. It made her feel richer in ways that no amount of acorns ever could. And so, in the heart of the forest, surrounded by friends, Nutty discovered the magic of sharing and how it made life so much brighter for everyone.